Transition to Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, who won last night, 35-34 in a classic. I mean, both these games, Bengals, Ravens. Ravens win both. Joe Burrow in his career 1-6 against Baltimore. The Ravens, regardless how well Burrow plays, kind of own them. But both games, you won the first one 41-38 a month ago in overtime when the Ravens won. Derrick Henry kind of slammed the door, got him in a field goal range. Tucker walked it off. And then last night, 35-34 in a game where both quarterbacks were nothing short of spectacular. Joe Burrow in this game, they asked him to throw 56 times. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw 4 touchdown passes. I'm going to pass for over 100. I ain't going to throw a single pick in 56 attempts. I'm going to do my thing, which he did. Against a god-awful Baltimore pass defense, that's another story for another day. Lamar Jackson said, anything you can do, I can do better, my man. I'm going to give you over 300 yards of offense. Okay, 4 touchdowns through the air. QBR 0-183 and a pass rating of 141 after just having a perfect passer rating on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. Now, I may be wearing a Steelers hoodie, and I may not like the Ravens, but I love me some Lamar Jackson. This guy... There's criticisms of Lamar that I'm literally about to touch on in just a minute. But in the respect that, not a great thrower from the pocket, can we please move on from that? Please. I'm all but begging at this point. Is he as natural as Burrow or Mahomes? No, but can he do pretty much anything he wants on the field? Yeah, he can do that. He can do that. Lamar Jackson, I was talking to a friend of mine. Matter of fact, my co-host, Asher Moore, shout out to Asher Moore, Addison Ragland, my co-host on the Triple Option every Monday and Friday, Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern, Fridays at noon Eastern. I put the link to the Triple Option every time we go live on my show. Please follow me on Instagram for that. Point is, Asher was telling me, he said, you know what Lamar's touchdown interception ratio is? And I was very close. I said, 24-3. He said, you were right there, 24-2. 24-2 pass touchdown to interception ratio for Lamar Jackson. He's also numero uno in QBR. 0-100, Lamar Jackson has a QBR of 77.6. And this, my friends, is why I say the criticism of Lamar as a passer are absurd. The criticism of his playoff resume will only heighten. Keep in mind, Lamar Jackson's first year in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens were kind of middling, very mid football team. Lamar takes over. They get hot, win the AFC North, and then lose to the Chargers with their lowest point total of the season. The next year, Lamar Jackson shows up, and it's like, oh, hello, MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson, 14-2, Baltimore Ravens. I don't want to say odds-on favorite because he had the Chiefs who hadn't won quite yet, but Ravens felt like the favorite to win the AFC and potentially win the Super Bowl that year. And Lamar Jackson, despite what his numbers would show you, I think he counted for like 500 yards of offense. Watch the game. Lamar Jackson did not play well against the Tennessee Titans. And the Ravens recorded, if notes serve me correctly, their lowest point total of the season. The next year, the Ravens were really good. Playoff team. I think they won 11 games that season. It was the COVID year. They go to Tennessee. It's against the Titans. Get revenge on Tennessee. Go to Buffalo. And the Ravens register their lowest point total of the season. The next two years, the Ravens missed the playoffs, made the playoffs. Lamar Jackson was out for both because he was hurt at the end of those seasons. And then last year arrives. Lamar wins another MVP. The Ravens are, I think, almost a consensus pick to win the AFC because how they looked offensively and their defense was the best in football, arguably. They trounced Houston. Lamar's great. And then they face the world champions, a team that has to make you play on their terms. And Lamar Jackson was not good. And the Ravens had, again, their lowest point total of the season. Lamar has done pretty much everything that a guy can do other than win a Super Bowl. He's won multiple MVPs. Folks, it is unprecedented what Lamar Jackson might do this season. So he is, I don't think it's even arguable. He's the front runner for MVP. You can argue Goff. I would make a little bit of a case. I think Josh Allen is quietly having a fantastic season, could run down Lamar. Joe Burrow would be in the discussion if the Bengals' record was better. It's not Joe Burrow's fault. He's been great this year. I think Mahomes' fourth quarter numbers at least warrants a discussion. Mahomes has been the best fourth quarter quarterback in football. But Lamar Jackson in the fourth quarter games, this is what he's done. Win trailing, not even the fourth quarter, win trailing this year, Lamar Jackson. 1,000 passing yards, 273 rush yards, 11 touchdowns, and 0 picks. In other words, he's been unreal when trailing this season has been Lamar Jackson. Why can't you give us that in the playoffs? Now, maybe I'm asking that the wrong way. Maybe it's why can't you? The question should be, why can't you? It's why haven't you? Maybe he can. Peyton Manning was the ultimate. Yeah, he puts up a lot of numbers. Yeah, he wins MVPs, but darn it, he can't win the big one. He can't beat Brady. And a reasonable argument for Peyton, my guy, go Vols, love me some Peyton Manning. A reasonable argument could have been, yeah, it's Brady and it's the Patriots. Like, yeah, most people don't beat them. And then Peyton did. 2006 season, AFC title game. Matter of fact, did it in comeback form. The Colts were down 21-3 in that game. Come back and beat the Patriots. That was the year for New England went undefeated. Went in 07. Peyton Manning outplayed Brady in that game. They came back and won. I think that's kind of what we're seeing now. We're seeing a little bit of a setup the way we saw with Manning and Brady. Where Mahomes, the difference between Brady and Mahomes at this stage in their careers is Mahomes also has MVPs in addition to his championships. Brady hadn't quite gotten there yet. But both have a reputation for being a winner. Both have a reputation for coming up clutch when you absolutely need them the most. Both had a reputation, or at least the teams had a reputation, with great coaches who specialize greatly in their side of the ball. Belichick on defense, Reid on offense. And the other guy who had the MVPs, Manning, Lamar, uber talented, blew us away in their own unique ways. Just couldn't get there. I say it's going to be set for us to get a Chiefs-Ravens game. That one's probably going to be an Arrowhead, which it was on opening night, and the Lawrence Ravens almost got that W. But I think what I've always said about athletes, see Aaron Judge, see James Harden, see guys that are just Joel Embiid, guys that just do not, play to the way that we think they should play in the playoffs. It is this simple. I've always said this. Unless we're talking about like a do or die spot where it's the back's against the wall and the talent on your roster just isn't that good and you have to play above your standard. That's the exception. But generally what we ask of our athletes in the postseason, can you maintain your greatness when the circumstances get tougher and harder? Can you maintain them? Now, they're all-time great ones. Michael Jordan, Brady, Mahomes, LeBron James, Steph Curry. They elevate. They get better when the lights get brighter. They get better when you need them to come up big in the long run. But even if they maintain their level of greatness, that'd probably be good enough. Lamar's not even been able to do that. Now, can he? I mean, we have a lot of regular season evidence to say he should be able to. So ask me the question. Again, the Ravens are in, unlike last season, kind of a dogfight. You can say Cleveland was never running them down last year. Come on. Using a million quarterbacks. Baltimore is in a dogfight with the Steelers. My Steelers, who, ironically, these two teams face off next week. So the Ravens, it's very much on the board. They'll have to go through a road playoff run. The way that the Giants with Eli had to do twice, the way the Packers did with Rodgers, the way the Bucs did with Brady. Like, it's been done before. Can you elevate your level of play once January arrives? Or not even just that. Can you maintain? I should say that. Can you maintain your level of greatness and excellence that we saw on display last night against a division rival who knows you better than anybody and you freaking cooked them? Can you maintain that once the playoffs arrive? That'll be the question. And by the way, I don't think if voters hold it against Lamar, MVP voters holding against Lamar, that he has not won it all, not even hasn't won it all, hasn't been great in the big games, hasn't been to a Super Bowl, I'll get it. That was my argument against Jokic for years. When Nikola Jokic won back-to-back MVPs, it's like, guys, he doesn't validate. Because to me, when you win an MVP, you got to validate in the postseason when the games really matter. Jokic hadn't really done that yet until he did. Until he did in 2023. It's like, okay, there it is. That's the MVP performance I see from you in the regular season, and I see in the postseason. I need to see it from Lamar Jackson. Simple as that. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.